This is an expat alert because about 10 trillion worth of gold and silver have been dumped just in the last couple of days. And for expats who don't really understand finance and economics, well, you may say, oh my gosh, it's never gonna rise again. Oh my gosh, what do I do? You may be losing it right now. And even the Clarity Act has actually passed, but that did not help Bitcoin at all. So what's really going on here behind the scenes? And you are going to learn about none other than one of the best cryptos that you can get out there, especially as an expat, because it actually deals with cross-border systems and payments and geopolitics and geofinance and all of those wonderful things. So hit the like button, stay tuned, share this with 50 people because the folks have no idea what they're talking about.
Yeah, I know for us on this channel, we just did a video about, man, gold is hitting all-time highs day after day after day. And as soon as that video, people started watching, guess what the market did? Dump. 10 trillion, guys. 10 trillion in a day. That's wild. I know for people that really don't know about the markets or into the markets, that seems like, oh my gosh, the world is ending. $10 trillion in one day? No, but it's still holding up. It's still above $5,000. That's
what do you mean by that?
Gold is above $5,000 an ounce, right? So of course it hit all-time highs of 5,600, and then it dumped. $10 trillion lost in silver and gold. So that's combined. I'm not saying just one metal or one commodity. So you got to understand how to move around the markets. That's the main thing. Like I could have said, like, okay, gold is just it's hitting all-time highs 4 or 5 times. If you understand technicals, you can draw stuff out and realize, like, okay, I think it's starting to slow down. It's due for a dump. It needs to dump. It's been gapping up too much, and it needs to do something quick, or it's just going to be worse and worse. The more it goes up, the more it's going to go down. So
yes.
that's how you have to look at it. But what is happening right now, guys? The main thing is to understand it all. You really have to understand it all. You just can't say, oh, I buy gold and I don't understand it. You know, I buy cryptocurrency and I don't understand it. So that's the main thing to really think about and to really dig deep into. Because we're about to go over this Clarity Act and what's the importance of it. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Because don't just hop on something because it's popular. Be the person that is interested in longevity and compound interest, not just compound interest with actually investing, but also the compound interest of your mind being able to be stable enough to stick to one thing and see it through for multiple years. This is not a 3-month, 6-month game. This is longevity. This is, I understand the cycles gold went through in the 1970s, in 2001. I understand the cycles that silver went through, so it doesn't shake me in the market. In fact, I'm like, this is a great time to invest in more gold, because I'm telling you, this is the last time it's going to be this low, especially with what's happening right now with President Donald Trump and Iran. But let me tell you, because something else is really weirdly happening right now, Bitcoin is dumping as well at record levels. Now, my husband thinks that it could even get down to 74,000. And if you are new to understanding Bitcoin or you don't really understand crypto, then you need to know about something called XLM and something else called XRP, because these are actually going to be the heavy players in the next decade or so, because the world as we know it is becoming more global. Expats like you on this channel want to be able to make cross-border payments without using the American SWIFT system.
Yeah, this is very important, man. Look, they are doing things behind the scene. A brother just messaged me before we press play on this video, and I did not see what he's saying, but I know he's saying something. He's telling me, like, okay, yeah, I saw something. He said they're doing something behind the scenes yesterday. So something is happening with the financial system, right? The banking and the financial system do not like Ripple, XRP, Stellar, XLM, because it's solving a problem that they take advantage of people, like everyday people like me and you. They take advantage of what we do not know. They take advantage of our ignorance. But this is a solution for the ignorance, and that's what the world banks do not like. So you got to really pay attention. You got to know what you are investing in. You got to know the value of it. And this is very, very valuable. This is going to be sustainable long term. You know, this is nothing, like, you just got to know how to move around. I don't want to say too much, but this is what I go over Sundays in the Sunday market blueprint. So if you guys are interested, I do this every Sunday. Check the links in the description. And we talk about these things. We go over the chart so you can understand why gold hit an all-time high and then all of a sudden it just dumped, right? Why silver did that? When is Bitcoin going to stop and return back to over 100,000? When is a good time to buy XRP or XLM? These are the things that we go over. So check the links in the description, and yeah.
Yes, that's so good, because we also have the State of the Diaspora Gold, where we cover specifically gold for those who are interested in the commodities. You know, I was just reading Isaiah 60 today, and if you were to read that right now, you would come out with a new mindset, because the Most High Yah was talking about how his people in the last days are going to arise and shine, and he said, I'm not going to trade bronze or iron for you, but gold and silver. I'm going to make you wealthier. I'm going to lengthen your cords and strengthen your bands and give you a goodly inheritance. This is that time for that to happen. Check out the links in the description. But here's the thing. Gold was never the enemy of the system. It never has been, but it has always been the placeholder. Gold has represented trust without speed, where Bitcoin and cryptos and all these vanity things pass and go up and do all these things. Gold remains as the stabilizer in world war chaos. In chaos like President Trump capturing the president of Venezuela, Maduro, and chaos that's happening in Iran right now, where the Iranians are crying out saying, Trump is coming too close, what do we do next? Because it stores value well over time. Not just for right now, but like over the next 10, 20, 30, 40 years. And there are historical patterns that you can see in history and should be looking at, but we'll look at it together in the State of the Diaspora 101 to show you what's actually happening, because there is no new thing under the sun. What was will be again. That is a surety. So with all these new things popping up, understand the foundation. Because in a world entering the 2026-2030 era, one defined by capital controls, crypto, surveillance states, geopolitical fragmentation, and compliance-driven liquidity, storage alone is not just the priority. You have to diversify. Because when systems anticipate disruption, they do not eliminate old assets, not at all. They downgrade their function. So gold won't disappear, it'll become passive. It'll become that same wealth store that you have in the background when chaos ensues. And this is also why the Clarity Act was not about crypto. It was actually about permission. Most people misunderstood the Clarity Act because they read it emotionally. They thought it was bullish or bearish or political, Trump versus whoever, but it was none of those things. The Clarity Act did one thing exceptionally well. It defined who is allowed to move value across borders and under what conditions and at what speed. Now, this is something that holds true and very close to the heart of expats, because you and I know you pay rent in different currencies, you pay rent in different regions, you finance and sign contracts in a multitude of areas across the world, and so this hits home for you closer than anybody else.
Yeah, that's good. That's real good. Look, the Clarity Act give you clarity. That's what you really got to think about. Like, you got to be clear in what's going on right now. It's not time to be confused. I'll tell you that. It's time to really understand where things are headed. And you got to know that everybody has to work together. That's the bigger picture. That's the chess move that you have to know. Everybody has to work together. I know we always say this side of the world or that side of the world, but they're still going to be working together. You know, just like normal people like us, right? That is people out there that's not like us. You know, that's why Kendrick Lamar had that song. They not like us, but yeah, that's besides the point. But it's really getting to a point where it's going to be a divide, like normal people like us, that understands what's going on, and then there's other people that just don't understand what's going on and just be stuck in this control system, and you know, AI taking over. You get what I'm saying? Just really trusting the basic income, pretty much. That's what it comes down to.
Universal basic income.
Yes, it's getting very serious. So that's why we always say you got to start to, you know, we put nuggets out there. We throwing gold nuggets out there for you guys to be like, oh snap, what just hit me? Maybe I need to pick this up and really study what's going on and really learn something new. I know it's going to be uncomfortable, but that's the only way you're going to grow. That's the only way you're going to be not ignorant. Look, ignorant is not bad. It's bad when you continue to be ignorant of not knowing what is going on. You gotta grow. It's time to grow. It's time to, you know, understand, like, for real, like, it's not time to play.
Exactly, because this is exactly why the cross-border rails suddenly matter more than just having reserves. In previous eras, holding assets represented power, and it still does today. But in the next era, settling assets across various jurisdictions is the power. Cross-border commerce is no longer optional because you have multinational families, diaspora entrepreneurs, globally distributed supply chains, governments hedging jurisdictional risk because of the fall of the Western empires. And so all of this requires fast, compliant, low friction settlement. This is where legacy systems break. SWIFT, SWIFT, is the Western system behind pretty much all of the world's international transactions. And it takes a long time. If you've ever paid your rent while abroad and not used mobile money like they have in Africa, it takes weeks, it takes days, and then there's, oh, you gotta send us some more stuff because America's not agreeing with Burkina Faso, and oh, your account might be frozen in Istanbul, Turkey because the Istanbul Turkish people are not getting along with the Israelis at the moment. That's the drama that ensues when you don't have the right infrastructure. But this is where XLM quietly fits in, the new Bitcoin of tomorrow's world.
And y'all, it just hit me. So we just said that gold and silver, right, hit all-time highs, and 10 trillion was lost. This is what SWIFT deals with on a daily. It's like trillions of dollars. Think about that. So they just playing with us. But if you got the ears to hear, because what she just said, that just told me right there what they're doing. They're driving this price up with gold and silver and copper and stuff. And they need that liquidity. They might not have the gold. They might not have the silver right then and there because it is drawn into contracts and stuff like that that you have to understand. That's a whole nother subject. That's a whole nother way long video. But this is why we do 101s. So, you know, we can talk to you guys like this because it's so much that goes into this. But that's $10 trillion lost. And it wasn't lost. It was sold off. Somebody sold it and somebody brought it. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
It's really that 10 trillion that just hit
somebody
me.
Else bought it.
So it's like that liquidity they need that money. It needs to have money in the market. So
you need liquidity.
Really
Even from a financial perspective, you know, this is why finance consultants are coming out now and saying, hey, it's not the wisest thing to just buy property just for fun because Property isn't liquid assets. It's not liquid
Yeah.
money. It takes time to put a house on the market.
You
I know
have
when
to
we
buy
put a
it.
house on the market, it took about 3 months, and then you have to go through escrow, and then you go through this. That's not liquid resources. So you see that value of the house that's 359,000, 450, 500K, but that's not liquid money that you can take out right now and spend or invest or do something with. But let's get back to these cross-border payments, because XLM quietly fits without the hype. XLM was never designed to be loud, and y'all know we talk about on this channel the systems behind the system. More than, oh, Bitcoin and oh, crypto and Solana. There is something deeper happening here that matters for expats more than anyone else. And just so you know, it was not engineered with meme velocity either. It was built for one simple thing. XLM is a crypto coin, was built for cross-border settlement between institutions and currencies to stabilize currencies outside of Western economies. Now, Europe is of course going to be more interested in this than they were just in the last year or two, because their relations with the US and the US dollar have really just decimated in the last month. And so they're going to be more and more concerned with, hey, how do we invest in XLM? How do we start purchasing XRP? And Japan just made XRP legal as well. But here's what else you should know. It's speedy. It produces finality. It lowers costs. It has regulatory compliance and capability because people can see what you're moving when you're moving it on a broad ledger or on a broad platform. And those features don't just matter during bull markets. They matter when the rules harden, like in a World War III scenario. They matter in a pandemic scenario, like with what's going on with the Nipah virus in India right now. They matter when the world looks not as steady as it used to. And that gold dump, it was a signal. It wasn't a full-out rejection of commodities. Because when gold is reduced at the same moment regulatory clarity is increased, it gives us a very specific message. Static safety is less valuable than mobile compliance. That certainly does not mean gold is dead. It means it no longer has sufficiency just on its own. Systems preparing for volatility prioritize liquidity, jurisdictional agility and access, legal clarity, and settlement speed. Gold for right now cannot do those things, but it's a good wealth hedge for economic chaos. But then you also have to understand why this matters for family, expats, and those who are global mobility entrepreneurs.
Yeah, name of the game. We're gonna keep saying it. You gotta learn how to move your money around. You gotta use these systems as a tool. You can't let the system use you.
It has been for a long time.
I'm telling you, because you got to do everything, to be honest. And I don't want to make that sound confusing, because it's really not. You got to make it. You got to make everything simple. Yeah, you got to have a strategy, because it is cycles with this too. It is cycles when it comes to this market. You get what I'm saying? I saw a video of someone talking about how wealthy people move their money. They don't hold US dollar because that's debt for them. They might put it into Bitcoin back 4 or 5 months ago when Bitcoin was on a rally. Then Bitcoin started slowing down. Okay, they move it out and put it into gold. Gold rallies. Now gold might be slowing down. Okay, let's take it out. Let's put it back somewhere into like AI chips or something, or technology, or maybe back to crypto. You just never know. But the main thing, we are not financial advisors. We are just your brother and sister, right? That wants to show you love. But it gets down to the cycles. You got to know when to move your money. You got to know how to move your money. What's the best way to move your money? How fast you can do it. And they're setting it up for people that is listening. And it's very important that you listen. I'm telling you, we have people that we talk to, they say they listen, but do you really, really listen? Are you really learning this? Because you have to. And it takes time. It's not just overnight. You just get it. You know, it takes time to make a mistake. And I'm talking about just one time, one thing that you might have messed up, and then the next time you're not doing it. So it's certain things, especially with XLM. Just real quick. You remember that time when I tried to move some crypto to another wallet and I forgot the memo number,
Yeah.
and it was
That stuff is
yeah,
too confusing.
That's what I'm saying.
why you do that.
I had
That stuff
I
is
had to learn, so I
confusing.
made that mistake. I'm like, okay, now I understand that I need that memo number
Yeah.
for XLM, because XLM,
Yeah.
it is like that. XLM, if you're looking into investing that, make sure you have that memo
number.
because of course we got the money back, but you still have to go behind with the blockchain into the system and type your hash number and I'm telling you, it's a whole thing, but it's very simple. And yeah, it's very simple. So I digress.
No, that's pretty much the end of what we have to say today. Definitely check out the links in the description, because I know you heard all that knowledge he has and complexity with crypto, moving cryptos. Your girl, I don't do that, okay? I'm a stocks
Moving
girly,
assets.
commodities girly. The crypto, I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's like trying to solve an algebra problem. But check out the link in the description if it feels like that for you too. If it feels exhausting, confusing, but at the same time,
Simple.
I need to understand what's going on. I need to speak to someone who knows how to position, how to leverage, and how to move systems that are global. And I'm going to leave you with this. Gold may have been downgraded, rails were reinforced, but history has always favored those who understand the infrastructure before it even becomes visible.
Ooh, think about that. That's good. That's good. So all praises to the Most High, guys. We will talk to you in the next video.
Shalom, shalom.